Do you know how many things we obsess over for no reason? I have been putting this off because I didn't know where in my room I wanted to record. I couldn't make up my mind. And so, like, okay, I choose this side and it's not quite right. And I'm facing my drums. And then I notice it's like, oh, this is really, really hot because my lantern light is right here. And I want to have a little bit of dimension. So I put like a little bit of a warmer light right over here, which you can see because here's that warmer light. Maybe the edge just over me, just this touch. But then like I want it to brighten up and you can't even really see back there. And then I'm trying to figure out, okay, what microphone do I want to use? Because I've always wanted to be the type of YouTuber that didn't obviously have a microphone in front of me. Because I always thought, how in the world is that microphone like picking it up from off camera? It looks really cool. And all of this because I, like many people, get trapped in the look and the aesthetic of being a thing. And the more we obsess over looking the part, we don't get things done. We just don't get things done. And it has been a slow road. I've spent so much money needlessly. And it sucks because what I've learned about myself and what I actually want, I wish I would have known before. It would have helped me, would have kept me from chasing the new car smell over and over again, and just to get to it. But I'm not sure if it is, the perfectionist thing, or if it is just because perfectionism comes from fear. It comes from fear of rejection. So we don't actually give other people the chance to reject our work. So I don't know, I like this microphone, kind of. I guess this worm is really versatile, but none of that matters because I want to make content. I like things that sound good. I like things that look good. And that has been the excuse that I've used for years in order to just not get on with it. And I've wasted so much time. Being unnecessarily miserable. Because no one was asking me to do what I was actually obsessing about. Everything that people told me that they valued about my content was what I said. And I kept myself from saying it. I kept myself from being present, from being available, from just, is this on? I kept myself from being who I wanted to be. My goal is to stop doing that. So I'm going to let you guys know what I've been through and what I hope to do in the future. So for as long as I remember, I have been in front of people, whether or not it was in church, in school, some community thing, straight into playing bands. I skipped theater. That's not important. So if I could fast forward to now, I could say I want to be who I am. Past me wanted to be someone else. Part of that had to do with the fact that I didn't know who I was or what I wanted. So in January, I got diagnosed with ADHD. And that was after a long cycle of kind of the same thing over and over in my life. False starts, failures, lack of attention, impulsivity, daydreaming, back since I was a child. Like, I'm not here to defend my conception of ADHD, or to say that my journey needs to be like yours. I know what's going on right now. I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions, but it mapped on so completely to my life that I had an archetype, a profile with which I could identify key structural inconsistencies, lies that I had been telling myself. And I was trying to work with myself through life like I was another person, not taking stock of how I actually moved, what I needed. And I think that social isolation happens to a lot of different people because we don't tell our stories, which is weird because I'm on social media right now. It's funny how if you look at social media now, it is so saturated with people asking you for things, and the compromise that they're trying to make with you is connection. It's, hey, buy my course or buy my product. Here I am bearing my soul. You connect with me as a human being. That connection is going to facilitate a transaction that, at least for the most moral of us, both of us can benefit from. Hopefully, I can give you something that maybe accelerated your growth or learning or well-being, and you feel gratitude, and you want to express that gratitude with a monetary exchange. I think that is the idealistic way of thinking about creator culture, the creator space, that who knows where all of this stuff is going. But I was so disillusioned with it because not only did I not know how to be honest with you while I was still lying to myself, I didn't truly believe that I had something of value. And I think that is because I allowed myself to believe there wasn't anyone like me. And that's never true. I'm about to cry. And that's never true. That's never true. So, I was struggling with depression, and I didn't know what depression looked like. And I didn't want to play music. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do anything. I did what I needed to do to survive, barely, but I knew that something was wrong and I needed to change. And I needed to do something different. That started with maybe I should control what I'm eating and eat better, because I've always struggled with that. But no matter if it was food or exercise, it didn't change the way I felt about myself, and it didn't change the way I felt about my instrument, about drums, about making videos, all of the things that my mind continued to bring back to me. Like it would just call to me. There was a hunger for this, but there was just such a lack of motivation. There was such a lack, and motivation might not be the right word, right? Because there are two schools of thought for motivation. There is the inspiration motivation, right? The almost anti-discipline approach of motivation. Then there's the dopaminergic motivation, the idea that on some level, there is this feedback loop of psychology and biology. And if you get trapped in the wrong cycle, you can't mentally get out of it without help. And your body is just trying to keep you in the state it knows. I'm not even sure how it got that far. Maybe because I stayed in such a heavy state of self-deprecation for so long. I don't know. But what I do know is I couldn't do what I was doing anymore. And I probably could not get out of it alone. I have an amazing wife and incredible parents that are still here. And my friends are a godsend. If you know me, you know why that's funny. I am not and have never been alone. It only felt like I was alone because I had already rejected myself. So when enough was enough and I met that wall, I couldn't scale on my own, at least doing what I was doing. I started therapy. I, by chance, heard about ADHD from a friend on a trip. If you're watching this, you know who you are. And that's something that I'd never even considered before. It wasn't that I occasionally couldn't pay attention to things, or that I occasionally was impulsive, or that I was occasionally time blind, or occasionally forgetful. The features of ADHD caused cycles of depression in my life. And over time, overspending, disorganization, emotional impulsivity, usually inward, lack of mental flexibility to new situations. The list goes on. Those things continued to keep me where I was in life. I was stuck and sinking. And that is not the best space to create from. So I'm on medication now. And what I've noticed is that the engine is running. And now that things have started to move and everything isn't fixed in my life, but I have the capacity and tools that I did not have previously. And it is allowing me the opportunity and the confidence to try. The look of this may change a million times. I had to settle because I had to get this done. I'm not even sure what it's going to sound like. There are things happening in the garage. My roommate's probably in and out. None of that stuff matters. So what I want to do is what I've wanted to do from the beginning. I want to share my experiences. I have been reading like a madman and making connections because I'm learning so much and it's just time. I'm okay. I hope you are. I still need to practice not looking at myself on the screen here and look at the lens. I'm sure that the whole time I was looking that way. In order to battle my perfectionism, I'm going to let all of that go. Here's to growth.